Thank you for joining me for yet another unboxing video, and today we have more RPG goodness. This time we're talking Outbreak Undead Zombie Survival Role-Playing Game 2nd Edition Starter Kit for 2 to 4 players ages 14 plus. Outbreak Undead Zombie Survival Role-Playing Game. Fight the undead hordes, survive incredible odds, rebuild civilization. The world is overrun with undead. Humanity has turned on one another as society collapses. You are one of those lucky few survivors. You have many choices ahead. Will you be a vicious vigilante, plundering or doing whatever it takes to survive, or will you do your best to preserve civilization, even at the cost of your own life? Take control of your future. Fight the undead and protect what is yours. But before that, make sure you have a plan. Most importantly of all, make sure you test it. Otherwise, your zombie survival plan will fail. What the box contains. So this was released in 2015 by Hunter Books and Apparel. For more information, go to outbreakundead.com/SPY. Okay. Cost of this was $39.99. So let's crack this bad boy open and see what kind of goodness we find inside the box. We get some dice, we get some cards, starter book, and some player reference sheets. So let's start off by taking a look at a couple of things we've got here. So number one, take a look at the new rule book. Now, as you can tell, this is used, so it has a little bit of ding and dang on the back here, a little bit. But again, as we just roll, it says here, beware survivor, the world is overrun with undead. Humanity has turned on one another as society collapses. You are one of those lucky few survivors and have many choices ahead. And we read about this all already. So one thing I noticed right off the bat by looking at this rule book here. Now this is a small tome in comparison to what the real rule book. The actual rule book is quite thick. So there's the real rule book. There is the mini rule book. There's a lot more information in the survivor's guide. There's a survivor's guide that's included with this. And there's also of course, there's a game master's guide as well. Both of them are very, very large tomes. And that tells you about how much information is there. So as a quick start guide, it's just, again, get in, get out, get a little bit of information regarding Outbreak and Undead. And then once you kind of understand what's going on in this book, then you can move on to the larger tomes, which are right here. So with that in mind, let's take a look at what we've got here. Now, one thing I can mention is that having played other role-playing games that deal with zombie killing, like The Walking Dead, and a couple other role-playing game sets as well, this one is a lot different than the other ones, and it seems like it's a little bit more complex, and there's going to be a little bit more of a learning curve with this one. So I have not yet played it. I'm starting to work my way through the rule book, and it is a little different. The dice system's a little different. Just the way you think about this game is just a little bit different. So know that if you're going to try to pick this up, there is definitely a learning curve when it comes to this new game here, because it is not a D20 system, and it's percentile based, and it's D6s, and it's just a little bit more of a complex game. It's very, very, very comprehensive, and the colors of the dice represent different things. So it's a completely different kind of role-playing system. So I just want to point it out right off the bat. So I'm going to show you just a basic overview of what's going inside the book. You got your table of contents rolling through here. You got different sets of cards, encounter cards, character traits, injuries, what is survival horror, core concepts, who are you, things that you need to play. You're going to have the dice. You have difficulty dice, you have depletion dice, you have speed dice, you have damage dice, and you have percentile dice. So 4 different kinds of dice. Again, that's percentile dice. You have damage dice, which are red, depletion dice, which are white. You have difficulty dice, which are black, speed dice, which are blue. You need pencil, paper, cards, and at least one other player. Getting started, survivor cards explains to you the anatomy of what it means to be a character here. Gives you traits, paradigms, abilities, disadvantages, character sheet. The strength, perception, empathy, willpower are your stat lines that you need to know. Gestalt level, player, understanding yourself as a character, what kind of character you want to be, your attributes, your dice pool. Again, now that's the difference about this one. It goes into a large depth about the idea of a dice pool, what the dice pool means, quick actions, average actions, involved actions, very involved actions, dedicated actions. So there's a lot of dice rolling in this game here. So as you can tell, this here is just talking about all the different combinations of dice that you can have. So it is, again, a very different role-playing game, and not saying whether it's good or bad. I'm saying it's different than your normal D20 side game, which has, you know, your D20, your D10, your D12, your D4, your D6, and your D8. This one has a lot more options to it. You talk about your rounds, your intent, your checking phases, your encounters that you might be having, vehicles, combat, resolution, movement. You're going to talk about fatigue, different types of damage that you can have. Again, injuries, wounds, skill summaries. Again, all that dice rolling. What's it mean when you're rolling to pass, to fail, to brawl, to mod, and then all the modifiers that are included. Your endurance, your expressions, your different kinds of pain, skills that your characters can have, calming other people, bartering, persuading, commanding, intimidating, use of firearms, use of first aid, navigation, melee attack, expert skills, survival skills, toughness, character advancement, getting spew attribute advancement. A character can advance an attribute by reducing their gestalt level by 1 per bonus of attribute. Doing this, the attribute is increased by D3. So again, it's a little bit more in depth than some of the other games are. Morale and insanity, group psychosis, lost morale, professions. These are all your professions that you could possibly be, from mechanic to a locksmith to a jury rig, an honor, salesman, other trained skills that you can have. So these are all your skills that your person can have. Disadvantages: addiction, aggressive, one eye, phobia, character paradigms, injuries, penalties. Are you a lawyer? Are you a firefighter? Or a lone wolf, mechanic, military? Are you a night owl? Are you a religious order, tactician? Again, different equipment that you can have, cargo, what kind of kits that you're carrying around, maximum capacity of carrying capacity, replenishment, large kits, using manuals, durability of a character, degrading a character, misusing, gross misuse, different kinds of gear you can have. You could have diving gear, first aid kits, reconnaissance gear, tools, survival gear, ranged weapons, medical supplies, martial arts weaponry, trapping gear. So again, loading up your character, what type of gear that you might want, vehicles, bartering, depletion, equipment cards, melee weapons, all kinds of cards. Again, how you would roll when you're using a crowbar, whether you're going to bash, stun, or pry, you're rolling a certain type of dice. You have to have a certain level of dice. Daggers, hatchet, compass, badges, binoculars, batteries, dried rations, fire starters, flares, and all stuff, equipment that you can use. Modifications, again, firearm training, different types of firearms that you can have, pistols, submachine guns, long guns, rifles, all kinds of weapons, shotguns, all kinds of stuff in here, crossbows and arrows. Game mastering, few words of caution, basic storytelling, survival horror, rules adaptation, aftermath, encounters that you can run into, basic encounters, scenarios, locations, risks involved, sample scenarios we give you right here, different opponents, deploying opponents, succumbing to deaths, large creatures, the undead, the infected, different kinds of infected, banshees, feeders, beasts, a hellcat, a hellhound, nightmares, Ursus, all kinds of swarms, living, other survivors that you're going to fight against, and then you have an index. So in this small tome of rule booklet here, it's 160 pages of information that's included in this mini rule booklet. Again, the large booklet, the large rule book, which I could bring over right here because it's right, happens to be right here. Deals with a lot of things to say there, but again, this is 240 pages with appendices. So it's a lot of very, very high detailed information. Goes into more detail than what's in the mini book there. So that's what's included here. Again, the core book and the Game Master Guide are not included in this unboxing. They're not included with that. So you have your basic introduction rule book. Then you have your character card. Now this is your character sheet, I should say. So you have vitality or tracking, survival points, gestalt level, morale, damage types, base defense, gear bonus, miscellaneous bonus, damage type. Again, basic skill checks, balance, climb, composure, dodge, endurance, expression, grapple, hold. All these different things you have here. Skill checks, which are percentage chances of passing those. You have trained skill checks. You have expert skill checks down here. Advancement rate, basic skills, trained skills, expert skills, training values, and traits. And there's nothing on the back. So that is one of your player sheets that you have there. Also included in this box are a couple other things we have. We have your, again, it's a dice rolling game. So you've got your dice. Again, each color represents something different. You have, and again, with these dice, you're going to see the 6. Yep, the 6 has that icon on it. Again, the explanation of that icon there is right here in the rulebook. It'll tell you right there. So in this, you got 2 black die, 2 white die, 2 red, and 2 blue. All D6s, and you have a percentile dice. Again, how do you read a percentile dice? This is your 10s, this is your 1s, you roll your die. So your number would be 45. And so those are all your sets of dice you have there. Again, you have your 2 black, your 2 blue, and your 2 white. 2 black, red, blue, black, and white. Each representing a different skill set. Cool little baggie to keep those in. And you also have 2 cool sets of cards as well. So let me open this off camera so that if I slip with a blade, you do not see that. So that's 1 set done. 2 sets done. So we'll take a look at this one first. We've got Outbreak Undead. These are relatively thin cards, but you've got, again, you've got all the fronts are the same. Let's take a look at the backs of them. You have your character cards and their traits that are on it. You have a vigilante. Tells you all the information that you need, the stat lines that you need. So if I'm going to roll 35, I have to grab my percentile dice. Roll higher than that, 35. 95. So I passed that right there. I can see what I'm looking at. Strength, vitality, intelligence, that's your health. Then you get your basic upgrades. Again, the dice that you're rolling, the red, blue. You see it all right there. Okay, so you have a vigilante, you have a raptor, you have a hellhound, glutton, infected. Different types of weapons that you'll come across: a combat knife, tack vest, heavy coat, medium backpack, messenger bag. And you see all the cards are pretty much set up the same with the photo, the title, and all the definition of how to use them and what dice you need to roll and all that stuff. Binocular, canteen, rope, MRE, meal ready to eat, dried ration, cigarettes, gauze bandage, 9mm pistol, a multitude, first aid kit, intermediate cartridges, ammo box, survival kit, arrow bolt, quiver, small supply cache, small bug out kit, a longbow, axe, baseball bat. Again, when you look at the cards here, it's telling you exactly what you need to use. 3 blue, 2 red. Now the green, I'm not sure what the green represents. Again, you got to read the rule book to see this. This is not a how to play video. Baseball bat, crowbar, machete. So you got some more characters. You got Leo, Trish, Brett. These are your pre-generated characters. You got Jessica Drew. You got Mason. Then you got your different couple of missions that you got there. So you got supply run. Reach a location to search for useful supplies. The size of the location will often make this a lengthy task. Again, looted, compromised, success. Search and rescue. A significant lead is found of potential survivors. They may be in need of help, but they could also be hostile. So there you go. And all your stats are right there. Scout. The surrounding area needs to be patrolled. There are some expectation of danger, but it is a necessary risk. Trouble ahead, big trouble. So there you go. That's your first deck of cards, which are your Outbreak Undead. It says survival role-playing game. So you have your yellow deck. And you're going to pull these out because these are mission cards. You pull these out because these are your starting characters. And these would be your characters that you're going to wind up running into during your first adventures, which are located in the back of your book here. So there you go. That's your first deck of cards that you have there. Of course, you have your percentile dice as well. And you also have your injury cards, traits. Oop, and you got more of these cards as well. So let's see what other kinds we got here. Oh, more missions. Great, so you got a bunch of mission cards. That's awesome. So you got one that says set up camp, clear area, treat injury, construct simple gear, basic first aid, we know this much, and lay low. And then we have location cards. Also, you got the hospital, the pharmacy, police precinct, residential street, convenience store, sporting goods store, and grocery store. So let's take a look at one of these. It says location. Often close to ground zero, the hospital is usually overrun with the undead and is rapidly picked clean of supplies. 1 infected, 5 vigilantes, 25 looted. So again, you have to look that up and see what you have to do to figure this out here. Again, that's all explained to you in the rule book that's over here. Okay, so you got your location deck, which is very cool. Again, you have more of the mission cards, which we read already up front. Characters need to settle in and find some shelter from the elements and from those that seek to do them harm. An area of important needs to have a serious threat removed. An injury is in serious need of treatment. This will allow an injury to be removed, but the health point will still be lost. Characters can construct some simple equipment with no moving parts or mechanisms or scrap something to parts. Basic first aid. A character uses basic first aid in order to patch up small wounds. Using their gained wisdom, the characters try to glean what information they can about their opponents. A fight is too great to face head on. Characters must find a quieter way around to face the terrible odds. So there you go. There's some more mission cards right there as well. And we also have our injury cards. Infection. An infection will inflict D3 per infection injury worth of damage whenever natural healing is done. Taking further health point of damage due to infection will cause sepsis. Point of health loss due to infection will often result in other more serious symptoms. Saving throws, treatment, and heal time. Flesh wound, acid, electrical, slashing or piercing, and open wound, acid, slashing, or piercing. There you go, they're all set up exactly the same. And a bone injury. It says bludgeoning. So it tells you which type of wound that your character may have gotten. So there you go. So that's your wounds. And last but not least, you also have your traits that make up your character. So we have a disadvantage. So you have advantages and you have paradigms and you have abilities. So you have abilities, you have paradigm, and you have disadvantages. Disadvantages: addiction, psychological, physiological, psychosis, and medical. Irascible. Disadvantage: a character has a very quick temper. Any method of diplomacy used other than diplomacy intimidation will have to add 1 black die. Mania: characters unable to measure their own efforts and limitations in any rational way. They have an elevated energy level which manifests in increased irritability, arousal, and attention. paranoid. Character starts seeing the world as a network of elaborate conspiracies that result in harm coming to the character or those around them. A character gets that to all empathy checks per tier. Aggressive. A character is quick to anger and violence and may even turn their negativity attention on those they would normally want to protect. Each tier will prevent that from any attack skill check from being turned in for that. So there are your disadvantages. Then you have your paradigm. You have your police, your nurse, militia, navigator, moral center. It says characters always posturing themselves to maintain a higher ideal. They ought to believe this as opposed to merely exposing the need for virtue. They are crucial elements to maintaining a functioning group, but their deaths are felt deeply. So again, we have a paradigm. We have the lone wolf, spiral. So it's talking about different types of characters that you may have in your group. So that's cool too. And last but not least, you have your ability cards. You have survival ability. You have your honor ability. You have your damage threshold, training melee weapon, training bow crossbow, training long gun, training pistol, basic first aid training, Tressor. The character is capable of astounding feats of strength and agility in navigating urban environments. Or a tracker. Trigger discipline. The character excels in the ability to carefully manage ammunition. This is an invaluable asset when ammo is scarce. So discipline. So these are disciplines that your characters could have as well. So this is everything that's included, and this concludes our unboxing of Outbreak Undead. So Zombie Survival Role-Playing Game 2nd Edition. This is our starter kit for 2 to 4 players for ages 14 plus. Again, this is brought to you by Hunter Books and Apparel, released in 2015. For more information, go to outbreakundead.com/SPEWAI, SPEWAI. And as always, thank you so much for joining me for this unboxing video. It's truly appreciated. If you enjoyed the video, you could always give us a thumbs up and leave a comment below. You could also hit that subscribe button. This way you're kept up to date as to any time we release new content to the page. As always, thank you so much for joining us. Be safe, be well, enjoy the remainder of your day, and I'll catch you on the next unboxing video.